Hola. Welcome back to the Yoni Soul podcast. My name is Jordan, and if you're new here, welcome. Today is a special recording to speak into the current changes that are happening within you. Perhaps you are feeling it and may not fully understand it, and perhaps this is the perfect message to help you resonate with what's happening within you, outside of you, and to really connect with what is in resonance with how you are feeling. So I am inviting you in to sit, to listen, to reflect, and to be open to the possibilities and opportunities that are now coming your way. I want to start with something simple. The version of you that existed in 2020, it no longer exists. It is on its evolutionary path beyond your internal world and energetic field. If this resonates, and not in a conceptual way, not in a way that, oh, you've grown so much kind of way. This time it's truly different. We are never returning to the past. And this change that we are experiencing is a real lived experience on a cellular level. Your body, your nervous system, your sense of safety and what that means for you, which will be different for each person, your identity. All of this has been reshaped. It has been a process with a lot of uncertainty and a natural pull of going within and choosing trust. And today, I want to give you space to actually feel into what this is and what this means. Not in a way where you need to think about it more or to analyze it more, but feeling into it. So, I'm going to break this down in a simple way for you to understand. Take a moment and reflect back to January 12th of 2020. Where were you? Who were you? What were you doing? And what was your view of the world at that time? And we all know what happened shortly thereafter. The pandemic happened in our worlds, whether it be internal and or external, were changed forever. So that date was when the planet Saturn was conjunct Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. And it's important to synthesize this, to look at this from an archetypal expression, and to remember that evolutionary astrology is based on observation and correlation. So we have to observe reality in order to correlate whether or not it is reflected through the astrology. Now, I remind you that astrology is not a therapeutic model. However, right now it's providing insight to reflect on our own inner emotional growth and how it is reflecting change in our physical realities. Not only our physical realities, but our internal realities first. From an archetypal expression, Saturn is about being our own authority. It's about integrity. It's about time. It's about putting in the hard work. It's about commitment. It's about showing up when things are really hard and still doing the work. Saturn is about being a natural leader in our lives. It is about taking responsibility. Saturn rules the sign of Capricorn, which reflects the same archetype. Pluto is the excavator. It is metamorphosis. It is sheer transformation. It is going from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And Pluto is the energy of, in the tarot, it is the Tower or even the Death card. So when Pluto interacts with a planet like Saturn, Saturn being our physical reality and the structures of our lives, both internally and externally, those are going to be dismantled. And they were. Pluto conjunct Saturn in the sign of Capricorn, Capricorn being society, essentially, our physical reality, were completely shattered and dismantled on a world stage. So think back to that time and how it affected you. What were the changes that you started to now undergo during a time of uncertainty and unknowns, where likely it forced you to go within and really reflect on who you are naturally and who you are becoming. So that was essentially 6 years later. And when we look at the cycles of life through an astrological lens, especially evolutionary astrology, that would be the seed moment. The seed was Saturn met up with Pluto and began a new phase. 6 years later, Saturn in Aries is now in a sextile aspect to Pluto in Aquarius. Saturn in Aries is the building of the new inner construct and consciousness of the new versions of ourselves that we are now embodying and becoming. Who were you then? Who are you now? How are you embodying the courage to initiate this new long-term cycle that you're in? And this is not just on a human level, it's on a soul level, because that Pluto in Aquarius represents you on a soul level. Pluto in Aquarius also represents the power of the people, the rise of humanity, a return to natural law. There is more of the astrology that I'm not going to get into, though it is a part of the Yoni Swell experience. If you choose and resonate with diving into your soul's intention and your purpose in this life. So let's just take a moment and witness what happened on March 28th. It was the No Kings protest that happened in all 50 states in the United States, and the whole world participated because the old version of reality we are never returning to. And this is the energy of the rise of the people in order to create real change that is for the people in alignment with natural law and humanity, our right to be here and to live from a place of good. So take a moment and reflect on how this is impacting you as you are embodying this new version of yourself that is tangibly different. So taking this moment and acknowledge what has fundamentally shifted for you. I invite you here to share this energy, to share these revelations. Please let me know in the comments maybe how you are experiencing this in your own life. I would truly love to know. This is where we can reflect on the structures that once felt stable, predictable, even reliable. They have collapsed. They have been dismantled. And it is up to us, the people, each individual, to rebuild what resonates with in our hearts and for many on a soul level. So the way we worked, the way we operated, the way we connected with each other, with ourselves, the way we planned our lives has all changed. And what's more important is what happened within you, the internal journey that you've been on. Because when external structures break, internal structures naturally have to reorganize and to rise and emerge into something new. Even the ways in which you coped, I predict, have changed. The ways you stayed in control or gripped onto control have changed. And what about the ways you created safety for yourself? What did safety look like? Or were you living from the illusion of safety and actually from survival mode? These were all challenged. These dynamics, these inner emotional dynamics, these conversations around our self-worth, what we value, and who we naturally are have all been challenged. And whether you have realized it or not, you have adapted. You became someone new. Moving through that time, this time, and how is that different? So take a deep breath here. You can take a deep belly breath in and exhale, release, let it go. And now we are here, right here in this moment, which is a very different kind of moment. Not the intensity of survival. I have a feeling that your emotional intelligence has risen to a new level. And what it may feel like is the subtlety of integration. This is the part no one really talks about because it's quieter. It's less dramatic and deeply important. And this is where you begin to see, to feel, to be present with who you've become. And we do this through gentle acceptance and compassion. So if it feels forced, you may still be releasing, shedding, and recalibrating, integrating. With awareness and presence, this begins to show up. And this is where I have experienced people unintentionally disconnecting again because it's unfamiliar. Because your nervous system doesn't know how to integrate the change, to be comfortable with the change, and to receive the change. And oftentimes the mind wants to step in and override the intuition. It wants to measure and it wants to compare, figure out and calculate, strategize. Am I doing it right? And oftentimes this can look like, is there something wrong with me? This is an honest question that I see oftentimes coming up with people is there anything wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me? What is next? How do I handle this? The invitation is not to inquire on what is wrong with you or lack or what is missing. The invitation is much simpler and it's much more honest. Can you feel into who you are now? Can you recognize your own essence, your own nature, and your own gifts, your value, your worth without trying to define it, without thinking your way through it? Simply notice what feels different within you. Not what you think is different, what you can actually feel. as this invitation expands, I invite you into taking in the truth. If your body doesn't feel safe, your mind will take over. And when your mind takes over, there's a disconnect that happens. Your intuition gets drowned out. Not because it goes missing, but because it's quieter, it's more subtle. It doesn't shout. It never shouts, actually. It often whispers. It simply waits for you to be still enough to hear it. Because ultimately, that's a part of the evolutionary process of your own emotional intelligence and growth that is emerging, that is different from how you used to be. It's different from the old pattern. It's different from the old and what's familiar. The old paradigm, an energetic field that we literally cannot operate from anymore. So right now, there is a lot of noise. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of urgency. There's a lot of fear-mongering and scarcity. A lot of external sources and their input, their opinions about what you should be doing and who you should be becoming, how you should be living your life. And it can feel like if you don't find the right answer, or if you just find the right answer, the right strategy, the right next step, everything will settle. You'll then be safe. My friends, that's not actually what creates clarity and safety. Clarity comes from the heart. It comes from listening to your intuition. It comes from a regulated nervous system that is listening to its intuition. This is a very important moment in humanity, in the state of humanity. And I say this with a deep sense of love, with a deep emphasis on how significant it is for us to be present and operating from our intuition and from our heart moving forward. Because that's how we're going to detach from the noise, to reclaim our truth, to operate from our hearts, and to contribute to our families, to contribute to ourselves first, so that we have space to be a well-resourced individual within our families, within our friend groups, within our communities, and within the world at large. How we show up every day energetically affects the entire collective. So some of you who are tapping into this energy and who are tapping into this channel, into Yoni Swell, are starting to become present with a soul level mission and purpose that is now becoming alive on the planet through us, because we have a human heart and because we have a human spirit connection within us. This is about reclaiming your inner authority, to cultivate inner emotional security within yourself. When your body feels safe, your breath slows down, your intuition is fully present, and the thought loops, they soften. Your awareness expands, your self-trust expands, it grows, and it starts to be embodied throughout your entire lived experience. And suddenly you're not searching anymore outside of you for external validation or for external structures and sources to save you, to give you the answer, because you are now present and aware and listening to the inner wisdom and guidance from within, because it resonates in truth. It's steady, it's grounded. And if it doesn't make sense yet, detach from the need to understand and drop into your body so you can feel into what truth actually feels like. And simply notice. Ask yourself right now, have there been moments of clarity, revelations that have come through? And where have you felt that in your body, even if it's brief? That quiet knowing, that sense, that inner guidance that doesn't need validation. You are your own validation. And this is how we integrate your new identity shift. This is the version of you that has emerged from everything you've moved through. Your own expansion, your own growth, those hard moments of confronting the patterns within you that you knew were ready to change and that you know are ready to change. Because the version of you that is emergent is not the version of you that was conditioned or adapted to your childhood experience or shaped by survival. It is the true version of you that remains when your system isn't under pressure. And this is the version of you that doesn't need to force clarity, to do the thing in order to receive the answer. The answer already comes within you because you're creating an embodiment of receiving. This happens with a nervous system that's regulated and or in the process of becoming regulated, because it doesn't happen overnight. This is when the old patterns start to dissolve and your intuition becomes your own inner compass and consistent guidance system that is bringing a new life force energy and spark to your everyday present moment. So if you've been feeling uncertain, disconnected, because you are perhaps in this threshold of change, integration, embodiment, or again, caught up in your mind, it's not because you're doing something wrong. There is nothing wrong with you. So you can stop asking that question or following the thought loop of that narrative. It's because your nervous system is still looking for safety, yet it's not ready to step into the unfamiliar. So this is a collaboration between your intuition, your heart, and your proactive ability to let your nervous system know that it is safe to shift and to receive, to embody the new version of you. And this is the part where support can really actually matter, show up tangibly in your life, not in a way that pushes you or pressures you or gives you more to figure out through a mind map, but in a way that helps your body slow down enough so that you can listen, so that you can hear, so that you can come back to you. I'm so grateful that you're here. I am honored to share this space with you. And this is why I created my 7-day incubator. It's a space you can decide at any given moment to step into, where you are gently guided back into your body, where you are supported to breathe, to embody presence and awareness, to regulate your nervous system, to return to a felt sense of safety, so that you're not looking outside of you for the answers. You are allowing your own inner strength to come through, to emerge as a way to support you in breaking free of patterns that no longer serve you. You're creating the conditions, the new conditions for the natural self to arise. We do this with purpose and intention. We do this from our heart space. We are working with your nervous system directly in a safe and guided way so you can begin to hear yourself again. This is a grounded and authentic process. So if you feel ready to really listen to your intuition and operate from a place of self-trust, confidence, and authenticity with real support, I invite you to explore the information in the description box. And if you're not quite ready yet, that's okay. I welcome you to connect here, to keep returning. And when you're ready, Yoni swell, and I will be here for you. So take a moment to feel into your body, to feel into your heart, to feel into your breath, and give yourself permission to soften, even just a little bit, and to notice, who are you now? And when you're not trying to be anything you're not, when you're just being you, who have you evolved into since 2020? And what are the changes that you are truly ready to integrate tangibly and deeply in your life from your heart? Perhaps from a place of safety, ease, and natural leadership for you, for your freedom, for more options, for more expansion, for creating a life that resonates with your heart, your values, and who you came here to be in this life. For you, for your family, for your community, and perhaps on a soul level, recovering your nature. I am sending you oceans of love. I look forward to keep connecting with you here. And I will definitely see you on the next one. Have a beautiful rest of your day.